Meet the man that had to negotiate a $275,000 salary for a general manager position in Florida, Jeremy Nichols. Jeremy has been in the hospitality game for over 20 years. He is one of the top hospitality recruiters in the state of Florida, representing Gecko Hospitality. He's had to negotiate salaries for mid-level management all the way up to C-suite executives. And today, he is going to reveal all his secrets in this episode of the Hotel Insider. The fastest way most hotels can increase productivity and lower costs is with better communication to their guests. TextGuest is the most affordable hotel text messaging application on the market, created for hotel employees by hotel employees. Visit textguest.com for a free demo today. Hey, what's going on? You know who this is, Bruce Short, and I have the late, great, and still rocking and kicking Jeremy Nichols here with me. And today we're going to be talking about salary negotiation. We know that the market has changed a lot. For some people, they're more in demand, and for other people, they're still sitting on the couch thinking it's off season. So we got to figure out what these numbers needs to be and how we're going to present them so we can make sure we get the most bang for our buck. What's going on, Jeremy?
A lot is going on. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
And thank you for making the drive. I did not know it was going to be that long of a drive. I thought you were local, so I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. So, I always ask this question: how did you get started in this business, and what made you to continue with everything that's going on?
Well, recruiting?
Yeah.
So I've been in hospitality for over 20 years, but I fell into recruiting. I fell into it. Well, I saw it from a distance as a manager, and I wanted to do it because honestly, it's so grueling being on the floor so long that once I saw the opportunity to do something fun and be in HR, I had my eye on it. So basically, I just talked to management, and eventually I was given the opportunity to start doing store line hiring. And this was in New York City back in, 2000 it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I just had the opportunity to start opening new locations and traveling, and I joined an expansion team. Mm-hmm. From there, I went to corporate, and I was a director of recruiting for about 10 years. And then from there, which was 2017, I wanted to be a headhunter. I wanted to choose my own destiny, be my own boss and open up my own firm. So I ended up franchising with Gecko Hospitality in 2017. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I just hired recruiters that are from the industry. All my recruiters are from ops, have worked in property or in restaurants. And I just give the job orders to the ones that fit best for the recruiter.
So, I feel like right now, the way things are going, I feel like, employees are a little bit more in demand because of the hiring crisis and everything else. So I guess the first thing we should start with is how has things changed from 2019 to now when it comes to salary? Like, what are some of the things that you're seeing?
I think now it's all confidence. It's all like candidate confidence, I think. So those jobs where the candidates are getting multiple phone calls, now their confidence is moving. Now they feel like they can start to negotiate, and they should. And they should, I can give some tips. I know you're going to ask me that about salary negotiation. But 2019, everybody was scared. So if an opportunity presented itself, I feel like people would take it. I think now with the industry coming back, I know there's still a lot of positions out there that are not in demand. Like your conference sales or your banquets, events, like they're still not in demand as much as food and beverages. But when it comes to a lot of these operational roles that are like all over the country that they're in dire need, especially housekeeping, maintenance, even sales is starting to come back. Now there's confidence. Now these candidates feel like they have more power and more weight in when they sit at the table and get that job offer. So that's the difference right now.
Nice. Now, what are employers looking for? Like, I know that no matter who they hire, especially when it comes to management, they're always going to be over budget. Every time they're always over budget. You can be making $1 a year. Nah, that's over my budget. I don't know about that one. Uh-huh. So, what are some of the employers looking for when it comes to salaries? Like, what are some of the things that getting back to negotiating? What are some of the things that we really need to incorporate when we're negotiating our salaries with the employers?
Well, on the employer end, so the hiring manager end, there's a wide range. So obviously you mentioned budget, so they're going to have that range in mind, what fits within that budget, and a lot of it is just going to be status quo from what's been in 2019. When I'm getting job offers right now, and I get a position that's given to me, they typically are falling in line with 2019 levels. They haven't really decreased too much. In fact, there's some of them right now that have gone up, and I can give you an example. Like in the chef world, CDCs, chef de cuisines, and sous chefs, I've seen about a 5-10K increase lately because there's such a demand. So they are really starting to hold firm on their salaries. So I think for a candidate, what they should know, the most important thing for candidates that are listening is to always know your range. Know your bottom number, your walkaway number, and 100% stick with it, because if you don't, the likelihood of you regretting it 6 months, a year from now is high, because you're always going to wonder, did I get what I wanted? You're always going to be wondering when new management comes in or new team members come in, or when you hear your friends and family accepting other positions that are making certain amounts of money and you don't feel like you got what you deserve. That's where retention comes into play, turnover. So know your walkaway number, know your range.
So I feel like a lot of people, they really don't know how to value themselves. They don't understand their level of experience, where, someone who's, let's say that as a chef, they're making, they're 2 years, they've been there for 2 years, they have 2 years worth of experience versus someone that has 10, 15 years. What is the range? Like, what do you recommend as far as how much more money they should get versus someone that has like 2 years worth of experience?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you some tips. Like if I was a candidate, you have free resources that you probably haven't really thought about tapping into. So off the bat, if you want to know your range, you have to look around the market. So think about when you're selling your home, right? Like you can have the same home in Miami, and then you can take that same exact home and put it in Idaho. Sorry, Idaho. But the home is not going to be valued the same. It's comp set, right? Like a 5.3 home in Miami versus a 5.3 home in Idaho, right? It's not the same. Even though it's the same home, same areas, right? So Miami chefs have to talk to Miami chefs. Orlando chefs talk to Orlando chefs, and if you're all the way up in Tallahassee, same thing. So you need to talk to your network and start having those hard discussions on what kind of salaries are going around there. People will share. I've never had anybody budge. I mean, I talk about this every day as a recruiter. I talk salary. It's so natural to me because that's one of the first things we talk about in their first 10 minutes of talking. So, and also talking about recruiters and headhunters, call recruiters and headhunters in your niche. They'll tell you, because guess what? They want to place you. So they're going to tell you what ranges that they're seeing and what they're hearing in the market. And they're not going to overshoot, because if they overshoot, they can't place you. And they're not going to undershoot, because if they undershoot, they're going to make less money. So to me, it's a no-brainer to call recruiters. Just look up the local hospitality, restaurant, whatever industry you're in. I don't care if you're in finance. Call your local rep and find out what's going on in the market and become a candidate for them. And you can still, just because you're talking to recruiters does not mean you're married to them. You can go do your own thing. You can go apply directly, but they will consult you. A good recruiter will share that with you. And then I would say, speak to some accountability buddies when it comes to that confidence part. Definitely find some mentors of people that you know from the past that can give you that feedback, give you that encouragement, and tell you what they think you're worth. And are you ready for that next step? I'm sure if you're a chef, you have worked with other chefs or other ECs or other directors of food and beverage that would give you that information and tell you their feedback.
Nice. When it comes to bonuses, that's what I feel like a lot of people really screw themselves on. Bonuses. Negotiating their bonuses and performance and everything. So what are some of the tips that you recommend as far as when we're negotiating our bonuses and incentives for doing a great job? Because I feel like if we're making you more money.
So for me, like, bonus is just that. It's a bonus. It's in addition to, right? So base is the thing that you really want to nail. And I'm sure people that are watching this, some people that might want to push back on that, but it's true. Like when I'm negotiating with a client and a candidate, its base is where we're always getting that lock, right? And where the counter offers happen. They can say, oh, you're going to get up to 25% in bonus, but it's never guaranteed, right? So bonus is just bonus. That's just an extra benefit to your salary.
Okay. And what about benefits as far as like the insurance plans and everything of that nature? Because I feel like a lot of times some people walk away from jobs or they have a great salary, have a great base, great bonus, but the benefits are so high that they're just like, I got to pay $2,000 a month out of pocket for this family plan. There goes my negotiation right there. Yeah. It's gone.
Try being in the restaurant side. You want to talk about hotel side? I mean, like there's a huge room for improvement with the benefits, and I know again that works within budget and what's possible, but I can only tell you what I'm hearing from candidates, and they are walking away if a position doesn't have benefits. They just do. There's a lot of them that do not have benefits.
Oh wow!
Right, and they are comparing benefits, so it is really important. But then there's benefits that employers can do that are free, right? We can talk about hours. I know you and I briefly chatted about that prior, but making sure you're providing their schedules, 2 weeks in advance so they know. I mean, just the little things that are free. Watching their hours, make sure they're not going in abundance over hours, because now after COVID, that's one of the most important things that I hear. People want to spend time with their families. They want to be with their kids. They've had 15 months to reassess their life, and now hours are important, and that's something that you can control. I mean, you can dial it back and share the wealth, or do something in operations to give and provide better hours and better schedules to candidates. And that's something that's not being preached enough, that is at someone's fingertips.
They don't call it the Great Reset for no reason. That's for sure.
It's hard for me to say, because I come from a culture. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I come from full time is bare minimum 55 and up. Yeah. Like we in hospitality all know that, right? We, when you think about, what's your salary? What's it based on? 55 hours. Talk to other industries and they'll tell you 40. Now people are thinking, wait a minute, is my 80K job based on 55 hours really 80K when my cousin Sabrina in hotels is doing 40?
That's right. You do got a point there.
So a lot of that going on.
My main concern with everything, is going to be time. Yeah. I know. Like, I don't know if comp time is the law with salary-based employees, but when I was in New Jersey, they gave you comp time. So if you came in, if you still work the 15-hour day, you're stuck. But if you work 7 days a week, they'll give you like 2 of those days back, and it'd be like a vacation time or something.
Yeah, like PTO.
Yeah, like PTO. Yeah. So is that something that they can negotiate in their agreement when they first get hired? Like, hey, I don't mind working, but if you got me working 7 days a week or 6 days a week, I'm going to need my days back because.
Yeah. I think anything revolving around hours or PTO is something we should be talking about. And again, I said it a few minutes ago. It's really hard for me to say because I'm from corporate. Like, I've only been a headhunter for 4 years. I've been a corporate recruiter for 17 plus years. And I had to work in directors' meetings and meet with directors and roll out these benefits in these hours to personnel all the time. Now, for me to come and tell you that this is what I'm hearing, I just feel like I have to share what I'm hearing from candidates nonstop. And it's something like, if you can negotiate PTO or provide them with, hey, you're not going to go over 55 hours. I'm not saying to dial it back to 40. I mean, that's kind of impossible in our industry.
Absolutely.
But like, I'm here 70-hour work weeks. This is something that's happening like a lot. And I told you, it just happened just last week with a candidate who accepted a role 10K more that he was looking for. Took it, lasted 1 week because he started and it was 70 hours a week. So he left. He quit after 1 week.
Especially me, when I'm turning around hotels, I don't get a day off for 6 months sometimes or longer, because there's so much going wrong and there's so much that needs to be fixed. Like if you keep your eye off of one thing, something else will screw up. So it'll be like 6 months sometimes when I'm going into it that I can't get a day off. So it really sucks. It's really hard on the family, but you got to do what you got to do, because as a manager, you're thinking about everybody else's family and everybody else's kids and making sure they have a job. So
there's like a certain element too of, there's workhorses like yourself, and when I was in corporate, I feel bad. I think I made a post about 3 years ago. I had to publicly apologize for how I acted, and I'll say it right now in front of you. Like I was not empathetic and very ignorant to like working mothers. Like when I was in corporate, like I remember I would get to work first, I'd leave last. And I remember not until that president leaves the office, that's when I leave. And I felt like that was a badge of honor, right? Then it's like, I get there at 6 a.m., right? 5:30. Then you hear click, 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 the high heels come in at 9:30. And I'm like, that director of sales and marketing is not working. What's she doing? I'm working harder, right? Like completely wrong. And I admitted it years ago, and I've changed my tone and my whole management style's completely different. Now that I have a daughter, that woke up everything. Long story short, the things that are going on in every single person's life is so fluid and so different and so unique. We don't know if Brian at front desk has an elderly mother living with him who is immune compromised, or if Sabrina in housekeeping has a child in need, or high maintenance. We don't know what's going on in their lives, and I know I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm saying just as the managers and how we know we're hard workers, empathy is crucial if you're looking to attract talent. If you're looking to recruit and retain, and understanding that and listening to your people, I think there just needs to be a lot more of that.
You know what? Speaking of recruiting,
Yeah.
This is going to be a good one. I don't think he's disclosed this on any of his shows. What is the highest salary you negotiated for one of your recruits? This is where all the meat and potatoes is at right
well,
here.
Well, of course, not non-C-suite.
Yeah, non-C-suite.
Non-C-suite.
Let's do both, C-suite and non-C-suite.
No, I don't want to do C-suite because that would just make people angry. I'll do like GMs. GM 275.
275. Mm-hmm. I think that's a low. I think he can beat that. I think that's going to be the record to beat that. I want to see the next GM has going to get 350 at least in this work environment.
Yeah, 275 GM. That was a very nice salary.
Now, was it an area GM or just one location?
No, one property.
Oh man, that's not bad at all.
Yeah,
that had to be in New York somewhere. That couldn't have been down here in Florida.
No, it was in Miami.
Ah, that makes sense.
Miami, yeah.
They're rocking, and they have to go catch the fish out of the ocean themselves and bring it to the table.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense. It's rough in Miami.
That was a good one, but
Whew, man. Yeah. So what's going on? What's going on at Gecko? What do we got going on over there?
Well, where do we start? Very busy. Blessed to have so many clients and just great job orders across. Not only I focus just on Florida, and I also do Caribbean searches just because so many Caribbean talent comes to Florida, and Floridians go to the Caribbean a lot in our industry. So I do work those as well. But the whole country, we're up in search agreements. It's insane, about 40% every week. Our placements are through the roof. We're doing really well, but the struggle is real. The candidate shortage is out there. And again, for those who are listening who are there are niches that are not in demand yet, but it will come as we start to turn the corner, keep on getting out of this mess of 2021. We're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're seeing the events happening. Those positions like conference sales, once international starts coming over again, that's gonna be a huge boom. Orlando is just waiting for that to pop because they make so much money at those resorts. Yeah,
they're gonna kill it.
So there's so much opportunity, but yeah, just we're Gecko Hospitality. We're just super busy, really blessed right now. The restaurant side is just as busy as the hotel side, if not busier.
I can see that because I still have a lot of hotels that they haven't opened up their restaurant yet. They still have they still have their restaurant closed. They can't, especially in Orlando, they just can't get the volume that they need to have a sustainable.
So that's even scarier that you say that, because the need for talent in restaurants right now is insane. So you start opening up the properties that don't even have their food and beverage running. That's just going to be even more demand. And what about all the new openings, the new acquisitions? There's properties opening right now. Restaurants. I mean, I was on the phone with 2 different companies that have their sites up. These are restaurant companies that are coming to Miami, coming to South Florida, and they have 3, 4, 5 restaurants slated within a year. That's two companies I spoke to yesterday. So that's telling you we already have this need. And we still have all these new restaurants, all these new properties popping up. The cranes are all over in Tampa. You know? And I know Miami, they've been around. They've been cranes everywhere.
Yeah.
And when 2020 hit and people didn't really know what was going to happen, there were a lot of acquisitions happening, a lot of sales happening. I know there's management companies that were just waiting for the opportunity to get into South Florida, because that market has had the same players for so long. Now there's new opportunities, new acquisitions, new properties, a lot of movement going on. But that's the whole other conversation. We can geek out on that. But
now, for your let's say one of the restaurants open up in a hotel. Like, what type of salary range should someone be looking for as a chef at a hotel restaurant for a 100-room property or 200-room property?
For a hotel restaurant. Well, usually when I talk about salary with chefs, a lot of times chefs are going to talk about how many tables, how many chairs. Okay. I want to know volume.
Okay.
Like, what are you? Are you a 1.3, or are you a 8 to 9 mil? Like, what kind of volume are you doing? And like, how big is your team? And we'll kind of talk about what kind of chef are you? Do you have food in the freezer, or is everything fresh and scratch? Like, are you writing your menus, or are they handed down to you from corporate? So those are like the kind of things you got to think about. But a range for a chef, and you said 100-room property, boutique property.
Yeah.
For an EC, I'd say 90.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I can't believe I feel like I'm the wrong general manager. 275. Now I know I'm worth at least $500,000 a year. Now for the C-suite guys, like, now not the actual salary like that you negotiated, but what should some of the C-suite guys be looking at when they're going into some of these larger companies that has 100, 200 restaurants, and they have to oversee all of these locations?
Yeah, so C-suite guys don't move often, but they're really easy to get on the phone. Usually, like, for them, it's just timing and fit and what kind of trajectory they want in the career. Usually when I talk to them, it's like, okay, where is this company now and where do I fit? Like, some guys don't want to come in and be in a startup. Okay. Some guys do. Some guys want to come in to something that's a well-oiled machine and just take the reins and just do some tweaking, and some of them are fixer-uppers. So those are the conversations that I have to have, is like, tell me about what kind of CFO you are. Tell me about some accomplishments that you are most proud of, and what are your goals, or what do you want to do in this stage in your career. So those are the things that we have to hash out, and then we talk about money. And there's usually a kind of a ballpark that I'm given from the client that's looking for somebody in C-suite, but typically there's some room to move around when it comes to those kind of roles, if it's a good fit, because they really court them. There's a lot of courting, a lot of flights, a lot of panel interviews.
It's like someone joining the NBA, huh?
Yeah, it's a whole other ball game. They're not nearly as common. They're very rare, but when they happen, they're definitely a headhunt. I would never post that position.
Gotcha.
Never.
Gotcha. Now, my last and final question: when it comes to salaries, what's what's more valuable? Is it the degrees or is it the experience? Because I see people, they have like 1 million degrees. Like they don't even have any room on their wall. They got so many degrees, but they have like 1 or 2 years worth of experience.
Yeah.
And then you have someone else that, probably dropped out of college like halfway through.
Yeah.
Said, forget this, because they was working and going to school at the same time. It's like, what I need this degree for? I'm already making the money. But they have all the experience in the world, and they'll run circles around the guy with the wall of degrees. So it's like, which one is more valuable?
I feel like a lot of the answers I'm giving you are so wishy-washy. I wish I could give you like a concrete answer. I can just tell you experience, and I hear both. So I'll give you an example. I have a client that was looking for a DOF, and that DOF, they didn't care. And for a hotel company, they didn't really care if this person was a hotelier. They didn't care this person from hospitality. They wanted this person to be a CPA, have a master's in finance, an accounting degree, have all these classes. It was all educational, based what they wanted. That is what they wanted, and we talked about it, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm sure you do. Most DOFs in hospitality didn't go to school. I mean, a lot of them worked their way up from front desk to controller to director of finance. I mean, it's very, very common. Some of them might even go to school within their trajectory of their career. So I had to have that conversation with a client. He really wanted to have that education, but a lot of the time, experience will always weigh over the education. I'd say most of the time, 90% of the time, they want that experience. Was this person a director of food and beverage for at least 3 years at this type of property, operating this type of volume? I need this. If they have schooling, that's great. But again, there are times where it is important. So,
I actually started off in finance.
Did you?
And I work with some of the top firms. I hire people for some of the top firms, and with the CPAs and everything, never did hotels, don't have any hotel experience in hotel finance and hotel accounting. Hotel accounting is completely different. Dumber than a box of rocks. Had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah, but it's funny that you say that, because if I'm sure other industries, if there is somebody in finance that's listening to this, they're probably thinking I just made that up. That half of the DOFs don't. But I've interviewed so many. I've done a lot of DOF searches and controller searches, and I've seen it too often that it's experience. It's moving up within the industry, and they give them that shot.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I've never seen anything like it, and the reason why they want that, because they probably never had it before. Yeah. So I'm like, or someone coming in from outside of the industry saying that we need this.
You mean the client that I was talking about?
Correct.
That he's a VP of finance. He's not from hospitality.
I figured that. See, I didn't even know that, and I was able to hit it right on the head. Boom. I could tell, because they have no clue. They have no clue at all, because they don't know what they need. So they're like, if I get this pattern going, if I just fit this mold, it'll work, and it doesn't.
I would present like so many candidates, and that was definitely a trend. And these were like qualified 20-year vets in the industries. No, I need a degree.
Crazy.
So okay, you're the client.
Yeah, don't worry, he'll be back in about 6 months. Or you'd be finding a replacement for him.
You're probably right.
I'm telling you. Jeremy, thank you for joining.
Coming
on
Appreciate
out.
it.
Answered all that questions. And thank you for tuning in to another episode. This is Bruce Jordan, and we're signing out, and we'll talk to you soon.